HGTV. I want you to know that we love your show Hometown, and we're inviting you to come take over our hometown. I'm Paige Brown. I'm the mayor of the city of Gallatin, Tennessee. We're a small city just northeast of Nashville, Tennessee, and we're a city with lots of history. Our buildings have some wonderful architecture, and most importantly, we have fabulous people who have a lot of pride in their city. So while our city is great, there are still some areas that need a little love, and you, of course, are perfect for that. So we're going to show you more about Gallatin.
I think the things that make Gallatin great are that kind of baseline of community. And it's one of these things that's hard to kind of put your thumb on, but you really kind of feel it when you're here.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I'm biased because I was born and raised here, but I love the history of just my family here in Gallatin. I know the Rogans have had a rich history here, and so, but for me, I just love the fun and just the vibe of just fellowship and community. Honestly, I don't think it gets any better than that.
I tell anybody that will listen that Gallatin is the center of the universe. A lot of people call me Mr. Gallatin. My wife is not from here. She's from Lincoln County, Fayetteville, Tennessee. So she kind of gets sick of how much I love Gallatin.
And people will say, you know, I hope everything goes well, I hope you're successful, but they really mean it here. And I think they pull together to help you succeed. And I think that's part of a small town feel.
Home made me love a small town. Home made me want to settle down in a home.
What you see here is a fabulous old home that's located on Main Street right next to our historic downtown. This old home is known as Stonewall, and it was the home of our local historian, a man by the name of John Garrett, who sadly passed away a couple of years ago. He donated this property to the Sumner County Museum, and the director of that museum, Mr. Ryan Baker, is going to tell us more about this property. Ryan, explain the buildings that are here.
Right, so the one that you mentioned, historic Stonewall, built in the 1830s, served as a residence for the past 40 years. Was also a boys' dormitory for some time, but now is being utilized as a multi-use event space for the museum. Also on this property, we've got the historic carriage house, also built in the 1830s, and the vision for that is a art gallery that would highlight different Sumner County artists. We have also got the old county garage building built in the 1920s. We're looking at utilizing that as a working distillery that will also serve as a living history exhibit.
So what kinds of things do you need to have done here?
Well, there are lots of needs that we have. Some roof repairs are much needed. We've got some soffit, some gutter issues. The carriage house itself is completely gutted out. It was apartments from the 1890s all the way until 2015. So we're going to need to fully renovate that building as well. The distillery has a lot of work needed also. We're going to have to redo the electric, plumbing, put in new windows, painting, things like that.
Growth is coming to our area. Some people want it, some people don't, but everyone wants to retain our small town charm. That's why we're asking HGTV to help us preserve our character.
I think when you have a city which is growing as fast as Gallatin is, it is a natural kind of discussion to have between amongst thought leaders in the entire community about what you want to be when you grow up, right? And I feel like Gallatin's kind of having that conversation.
Time out of time, we focus too much on the center of the community because that's where people go. If they think of Gallatin or if they think of any major town in the city, we have to make the square look good. But I also think sometimes people use that as, well, we feel left out. And so I think if we're really going to foster community, we have to continue to make sure the community spreads not just in the main areas where people hang out, but it does branch out to the communities that need a little bit of extra love.
Gallatin has many great gathering spots for our local residents, one of which is Mary's Place. A few touches here could make a great difference for them.
You've been here before, haven't you?
Oh yeah, a lot of times.
You like this place?
Oh yeah.
How long you been coming?
I've been coming for a few years now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
More than one?
More than one.
More than today?
More than today.
He has no friends to help him now.
There's excitement and stuff from the square. We like the square. Coffee house in the square, it's a challenge. You know, I don't have a drive-through. You know, it's like I'd be better off on the edge somewhere else. You know, but But there's a charm to the space, to the tall ceilings, to the people walking up and down the sidewalks and waving at you as they go past and say, hey, what are they doing now? These are some of my father's paintings. He was a successful artist in New York in the 50s. We try to encourage and sometimes go outside the door and come back in with a fresh look. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? It's like if you don't, you become stagnant. And so we try to, where we can, reinvent and stuff and what your budget may allow and things, but to put something fresh on, because what do we all want to go and see? Something that's a little bit new, a little bit different, a little bit updated.
Gallatin also needs a new gateway to our city, something tasteful that when you enter our city, you know that you're entering Gallatin, the nicest place in America.
If you have the businesses here and you have an opportunity to go out and eat and see live music, then you get people living down here and it just all sort of feeds itself, and that footprint of downtown grows. And I think that's where HGTV and doing a downtown redesign would really be great to maybe give us some ideas and a direction. And I think us being on that channel would spur some entrepreneur investment and people saying, hey, I think I want to be part of that. I'm going to take a look at it.
If any of the producers who are listening to this or other design curators, I think if you come to our city, you're going to be equally inspired by the opportunity that exists here. So that's number one. Come and check us out, and I think if when you do, you're going to fall in love in the same way that many of us have.
We are the nicest place in America. Anyway, I think that will shine. I think if they actually came here, established a project here, and just jumped in and really started working with it, I think our community would really embrace it. I do.
For the last few years now, Gallatin has really been focused on beautifying our community, but we still need some help. HGTV and Hometown Takeover can really spark something special for Gallatin, Tennessee. We thank you so much for considering our city.